Okay, let's see if this works now. I'm curious to see if this works. Share an embarrassing dating story. Okay, there we go. Hello, and welcome back to my failed, miserable life of living in Asia. By failed, miserable, I mean for the live stream, which is it's not who gives a shit, right? Let's see if I can hear myself now. Testing 1 2 1 2 testing. My name is Bob.
Testing 1 2 1 2 testing. My name is Bob. Testing
Okay, there we go. Finally, Jesus Christ. Hey man, it is what it is. How's your weekend? My name is Alex, and today we're going to talk about 10 things I learned about living in the Philippines. This was going to be something I was gonna hopefully use afterwards, but I don't think I can because YouTube doesn't allow me to record. So I guess I'll just put in the work with a regular video. Anyways, um, if you're just joining us, we'll wait a little bit till more people come, and then I'll share my experience of living in the Philippines, mainly for the past 7 years. Of course, I travel very, very often, and probably once every month or two. And the longest I spent in the Philippines at once was 8 months, and that was because of COVID. And all different, a little bit different when you say the long term, than short term. And as usual, we'll get through some, hopefully, some Facebook stories and news if we can. But first, I'm going to say hello to a bunch of people and then we'll get going. Much better. Yes. Thank you, Anonymous. Yeah. Asia now. What's up? Not much. Howard. Now just started to go. Okay. That's me. Howdy. I can hear you, bro. Perfect. Thank you, guys. I love your show. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in Mandaluyong. Okay. Okay. I've heard of it. Never been there. That's where the whole black group of 40 black guys like walked through the area in the suburbs last year. I think it was Mandaluyong. Nothing came from that. Now the voice, perfect, excellent. Yo, did she get 40 years or life? Life is like just a term for the sentence. It's supposed to be. It's about Alice Guo. She was given this perpetua persona, like conviction, and that term is equal to 20 to 40 years in prison. And apparently, after 30 years, she's able to be eligible for a pardon. However, now they're saying on good behavior, Alice Guo can go ahead and go back to China. A lot of people are not okay with this, but you got to remember, China don't play. If China wants you to come back from a scam center, they're gonna end you, bro. They're gonna end your life, give you the yeah. They don't play around. So maybe it's not a bad thing. Either way, that's about Alice Guo. She was recently found guilty and given 20 to 40 years in prison. Um, Next up, start from Compton and Gentry. Sounds good. Excellent. Sam from Compton. Start from Compton. Sam, what's up, Sam? Where are the chicks? The chicks are everywhere. Y'all don't. Okay, I just set a goal. We got 20 people watching. If we get 5 super thanks, let's say $50 or more overall, I'll share a very embarrassing. Well, I don't know if it's very embarrassing, but I'm not very. If you guys are new, I'm kind of private when it comes to my dating life. I think that's people that I don't want to judge other people, but I think that's unless it's my content for YouTube, that's a different thing. But nobody really knows what I do in my private life, and that's a different story. So I don't usually flaunt people on here or whatever. So if you guys want to hear an embarrassing dating story, I'll go ahead and if we reach a certain goal, I'll go ahead and share that story. Very short, but pretty different. What it is? Let's see. Yo, 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 Sam from Content. Where the chicks at? Chicks be everywhere. Let's see. Richard abroad. Hey, bro. What's up, bro? Sam. Everybody's here. Okay. So we got 27 people watching this. Let me go ahead and start talking about some of my things I learned about the Philippines in the past 7 years. So just keep in mind, this is my personal experience on someone that is single, no wife, no kids, and didn't come to the Philippines for the women. I'm just traveling Southeast Asia, and things ended up like me landing in the Philippines. and then staying there long term, enjoying it, liking it, part of it because of the lockdown and all that, and then eventually making it my base. So keep those things in mind. And for me, at being at the time 32 years old, relatively young compared to most of the people that come to the Philippines to stay longer. And also, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't have any vices like that, and I never pay for professional women like that. So I don't pay for a woman's companionship. Keep those things in mind when we're talking about these things, my top 10 things. And that's just to give you some kind of basis of where my judgment comes from, right? And my budget was anywhere from one to $2,000, depending on what I'm doing, where I'm going, what's going on in my life. And it's usually based on me staying anywhere in central locations. So whenever I go to Manila, Cebu, Dumaguete, wherever, like whenever I travel, I tend to stay within like the tourist or the most central location. That's going to affect my cost of living and what I'm experiencing, of course. People that go to provinces, I envy them. I wish I could do it. I cannot. I mean, I could, but it's uncomfortable for me. I can't feel comfortable with some of the lifestyle that's going on there, and just because I'm just a spoiled guy coming from the Toronto area and just grew up in the city, so I'm just not accustomed to some of these things. Let's go on to number one. So let me go ahead and take a look at my phone, and then we'll get through it. Where am I? I wrote this down yesterday, so I don't forget. The first thing is that the Philippines isn't as affordable as I thought, and if you want to have a Western standard of living, it's going to cost you. Now, before you guys kind of disagree, just keep in mind when I say isn't as affordable, I'm comparing it to places like Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Cambodia, and Laos. And compared to those countries that I visited, also the Philippines is more expensive, and it's still less and more affordable than your home country in the West, definitely in the U.S., Canada, Australia, UK, all that, but not as value for your buck as those countries. And once again, like I mentioned, I usually tend to stay very central. I eat out, and although still affordable, not as affordable as I imagined, as I thought. Now, would that have really changed much? Not really. It was just something I kind of picked up on and noticed. And that's, I think, understandable given Philippines' location, the way they do logistics, how everything is kind of like red tape. And so I assume just getting products into the country and going and exchanging so many different hands, you lose some of the value that's there, right? So, and one more thing was just the affordability of rental places. Of course, you can like rent a place outside of the city center, probably a couple $100 a month, and just be a nice place and totally fine. But then I'd have to consider going into town every single day, there and back, taking a Grab because I don't dare to drive in the Philippines. I'm just not accustomed to their driving culture. People drive erratically, and there's just too many things happening. Tricycles, like bicycles, motorbikes, people selling items, food vendors, right? And if you're like coming from a Western country, you may not be able to see those blind spots because you're not expecting it mentally for somebody to come on the right side or left side of driving and trying to squeeze through and all that. So it just kind of, even though the Philippines is the same side as Canada when it comes to driving, I just don't dare to drive. Plus, I don't want to convert my driver's license and all the headache that comes with it. Pay a couple of dollars to take me down with a taxi, right? So that is what I'm talking about. So I compare, and I'm like, okay, location is important for me because I'm always interviewing people. I'm talking to people. I'm meeting people. And I also want to be next to restaurants and all that. So why not pick somewhere central, which obviously increases my rent. And then when you stay central, the prices of restaurants nearby also increase, right? Because they're paying from premium location. They're paying the staff. They're paying like for all that stuff. So everything kind of gets a little bit more pricey. Once again, still affordable for Western currency coming into Philippines exchange, but like overall, that was something that I noticed. Hey, we got our first sticker. Thank you, Shadow. MWO says, great channel from Maryland, moving to the Philippines in the beginning of January. Military, retired with a monthly income 4K. What are some good beginner areas to start out? I'll be starting out in Quezon. That's an excellent amount to have. Once again, I highly recommend do not disclose your finances to other people. Of course, you and I talking on the channel. You're anonymous. Nobody knows you, of course, based on your profile picture. You have no fear, obviously. But when you're out and you arrive, try to not disclose your finances to people, because whoever has bad intentions will not have a target. You know what I mean? So I don't want to fear monger, but obviously you want to be a private person and not to, because some people are in need, right? They need some help and they might come to you and you may feel obliged to, or you don't want to be rude. And it just starts a whole chain of headache you don't want. But Personally, I'm not familiar with Quezon City, so I can't really help you with that, to be honest. But I've heard it's a great location. I know a lot of excellent rental places, restaurants, and a high volume of foreigners are in that area. Manila, I've spent only a few weeks at a time, nothing too much. And once again, I was only there for sightseeing or doing videos like interviews on my Living Abroad channel. So I don't have much experience with that. My main central location is Cebu. So from Cebu, I can tell you a bit about that. But as far as Quezon City, I do not know. And thank you for that super thanks. Four more of those, and I have to share my embarrassing dating story if you guys are curious. I set a goal on the channel. So I don't know. Part of me wants it to hit that amount, part of me doesn't, but it's just something fun to do here. Um, what? Are you curious? Anonymous says, I didn't realize you traveled outside of the Philippines. Bruh, I'm not like most YouTubers you see in the Philippines, the expats. They're living there permanently. They're on some kind of like either relationship, family, wife, kids, or they just long term, because they got pension or something. I'm still working. This is my job essentially, and I still travel. So every year I hit about 10 different countries. Like this year alone, I went to Japan, Laos, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, of course. Where else? Thailand. I don't know. I've been to some other places I forgot. I'm trying to remember. But like every year I do about like 10 countries, usually like 8 to 10 different countries. If you guys want to see, I stopped posting about my travels on living abroad because it's too much work. Like imagine I want to enjoy my travel too, right? Like making a video is a lot of work when it comes to travel videos. And the response isn't that great because the algorithm and so many other channels is kind of like it's just not enough reward. I don't get enough views and enough money from that video. So it's kind of like, why bother? You might as well just enjoy my trip. Mm. Also, Vietnam twice in the past couple months. Where are we at? Let's go back to what we're talking about. So Ahmed says, what is the average of rent cost you monthly? That's an excellent question as well. So let me give you my thoughts on Cebu mainly. Actually, pretty much all major cities in the Philippines are similar. If you're gonna rent, because the problem is I rent short term. I rent usually 1 month at a time. That's obviously gonna increase the price. And then also that forces me to basically stick to booking.com, Agoda, or obviously Airbnb because I don't like hotels over anything past a week. I don't like staying in a hotel. It just feels weird to me. If I'm staying more than a week, I tend to get Airbnbs. Less than a week, I stay at hotels. So when I travel and I need 1 month at a time, I usually just go on Airbnb. And because Airbnb prices are a bit higher than just going on Facebook groups or renting long term, I would say anywhere between 400 to 600 is what I pay on Airbnb for a studio. And that's a very small room. It's basically just a room with a bed, a kitchen area. And for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm just a single guy. Number two, I don't want to be there to try to impress women, right? So sometimes a lot of guys, they get a really nice apartment because they're expecting women to come through and they want to impress them. But even if I wanted to impress a woman, I don't think I'll start off like that because I'm not trying to get someone that's interested in me and my money, right? I know it's very whatever, but like that's just who I am right now. And I'm not looking to get someone that's looking for a rich guy because I don't want to be something I'm not. I don't want to pretend that I have, let's say, 4,000, like gentleman over here, a month to spend. I might have two. So why would I get a rental apartment with half my, why would I pay $1,000 a month in hopes of maybe bringing a chick over randomly, some random day? It doesn't make sense. So I stay to something that I'm comfortable with, which is like a studio's fine with me. Like this is just the Philippines though, right? And that usually costs about 400 to 600 or 700 if you don't want no headaches. But what I do is usually I message the host. I say, hey, listen here, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I'll treat your home with respect. Would you accept 500 cash when we meet? And they say, yeah, why not? They save a little. I mean, I save a little bit of money. They get to rent out the whole place for a month, and they can see my Airbnb history, which is over 12 years by now, and it's all fives, right? So they know I'm not just BSing. That's how I do it. So I just give them the cash upon entry. Boom, Bob's your uncle. That's it. No down payment, no deposit, no nonsense. You pay a little bit more than just going directly through Airbnb, which has the cleaning fee, the Airbnb service fee, my credit card charges, whatever, right? Next thing you know, you're paying double the listed price. I know you might think I'm nickel and diming, but for a single guy that's still working, it makes a big difference if I save myself $300 a month. So that's how I do it. Anywhere from 4 to 700 for a studio typically, and you can go obviously lower and higher depending on how long you stay and what the location is. I went a long time about that, but now you guys have an understanding of how I kind of do that. Hey, Hillbilly Pyro, what's up? What's up? Big Wolf in the house. I'm from Toledo City, Cebu. Toledo, I've never been there, but I met a girl from Toledo once. Actually, the first day I landed in Cebu, like what, 2019. I met a girl from Toledo that picked me up in her car, in her whip, we just drove around and she showed me all of these nice places, which was fun. Yeah, Toledo. I never got a chance to go to her house, but she kind of that's a different story over there. But yeah, Toledo, never been there, but I've heard of it. Thanks for the heads up with the not disclosing the income. With the U.S. pension, it's already online with public. Yeah, knowledge. I plan on using Manila as a base to travel around Asia. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Yeah, heads up for all those things. I mean, only when you get married, I think the only person your wife, and by if you marry somebody, you should trust them enough to obviously. But like, yeah, they just you don't want to bring on any headaches, because you get no benefit of disclosing the information. Maybe like a slight sense of accomplishment, or I don't know, some kind of adrenaline or something. But I don't think I think the downsides are worse than the positive. So yeah, of course, anything. I hope you travel around, man. Manila, obviously, the Naia airport's there, and it goes off to all the major cities. And flights domestically and internationally are basically the same, almost price wise. So why not, man? Go ahead and check out Malaysia, check out Vietnam, check out Thailand, check out Indonesia, check out all these places nearby, Cambodia. And I wouldn't even worry about what's going on with the dispute of the land. That's just the northern part of Thailand. If you go to like Phnom Penh and Siem Reap and two major cities, you're going to be away from the random exchange between Thai and Cambodia border, so you got nothing to worry about. Boom. What is next? Next question. Sky is dark here today and rainy. Yeah, over here too as well. Let me go ahead and tell you guys number two. So the first thing was me kind of being a little bit surprised, and not that it's expensive. Like I said, just a bit more costly than I thought. And if you want to eat out at a restaurant, yeah, it's just basically the same as back home almost, depending on where you're eating. Number two, dating is much easier than the Western women. I think dating is one of the major reasons why most men come to the Philippines. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't like women, or just like I don't need women, or like I don't date women or something. But dating, of course, is one of the primary reasons why men come to the Philippines, and it's understandable why that is. Number one, because the convenience of English. All right, so when you can communicate, you can express yourself, and you can also vet people and what you like, what you don't like. And I think Filipino women are just open to Westerners because they are familiar, whether through social media, history, language, whatever it is. That's that. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that obviously your finances don't matter and your age doesn't matter. That's just a lie. But my point is, whatever you're doing back home, you're gonna do a lot more of it in the Philippines. That's it. If you're meeting one woman a month, you might meet 10 women a month. If you're meeting one woman a year, you'll meet 10 women a year here, for example. Now, it's up to you as a grown man to do your due diligence. And, my battery's at 50%. Shite. So it's up to you to, like, obviously do your own due diligence and talk to these women and figure out if you have the same interest in common. Online is difficult to meet someone that, let's say, good women, but you should be aware of that by now. There's thousands of videos and channels talking about this, so I'm not going to get into all that. I've never had any issues. Women ask me for money as well, but it's like a simple block and delete to me. It's not even a thing, right? So, and I've dated a lot of women in the Philippines, and by date I mean I've met. I don't know where we can draw the line between dating and just simply meeting someone or spending short time with someone, or like. So I've had no issues. They are same as, actually they're not the same as, basically Western women have very high standards now for regular men, and they have this expectation that's not like that in the Philippines. And even if women want money, you can afford it. In the West, you cannot. And I'm not gonna like we have to also acknowledge that we as men are no longer probably in our prime when we're just kind of like in the Philippines. We're not 20 years old. If we were, then great, but most of us are over 30, 40, 50, right? And at that point, we have to kind of be honest with ourselves and understand like it's usually the people that are in need of something that may engage with us. Not all of them, of course. You can find whoever, but I'm saying if I had to put my money on yes or no, then obviously I put it on yes. This woman is looking to get some kind of assistance, reciprocal when it comes to benefits, kind of thing. But Ayo, thank you. So now we have two super stickers. Thank you. Shadow MWO says another. How would you deal with the tourist visa staying in the Philippines long term? Should I do extensions right away or do it at the end of the first month? Do it right away. So I'm gonna kind of explain to you guys the whole visa situation if you're new or don't know, or I assume by now everybody knows, but I can't assume because there's going to be new travelers, new people. So I'll explain the visa situation. As a Canadian American, you get 30 days upon entry. It was 29 days. And you can actually extend that for another 29 days immediately at the airport. Some people do it. They go to the immigration office and do it. Personally, I would land within a week wherever I am because what if I don't like it? Like if it's your first time to the Philippines, what if you don't know if you want to stay a whole month, right? So I would just say wait a week, maximum 2 weeks, because most of the time the first extension can be done within the first few hours. You don't have to go back, is my point. So your first visit to immigration, if you're in Cebu, go to the Mactan Island one and Gaisano Mall. That takes 20 minutes. The best immigration office from any country I've ever been to. Very kind, very friendly, very organized, and they don't bother me at all. Everything's posted, listed, the prices. I never once felt any scamming going on. Manila, not so much, and the other Cebu location, not so much. But yeah, when you land, wait a week or 2 weeks. If you know you want to stay longer now, okay, go ahead and go to the immigration office, extend it. You get an additional 29 days. After that, I hear you can do it online now. I've never done the extension online personally, but I've heard a lot of people have issues getting a receipt and making a payment or anything to confirm they've extended their stay via online method. So after the 29 days, you get an additional 29 days. After that, you can extend for 2 months. And then you continue basically doing that until as long as you want to stay. And at that point, you have to get an ACR card, an alien residency card, which you have to pay extra for. And your second month extension could cost you about 6,000 or more. But you have to remember it's for 2 months and you get an alien card. And once again, I know some people don't like paying it, but it all averages out to about $2 a day. If you don't have $2 a day to live in another country, then I suggest you reconsider your finances. I know it's annoying, I know whatever, but when you compare it to other countries, try to come to Thailand. See how long you can stay. It's annoying. And you get 29 days, maybe 59 days, and then you got to leave or come back. You can extend it one time. And now they're going to crack down on border ones, all this garbage, right? Vietnam, you get 30 days, no, 60 days, no, 90 days. Sorry, as a Canadian, I get 90 days in Vietnam. I've never extended it, so I don't really know. So my point is, yeah, it's annoying in the Philippines, but it's the easiest country to stay long-term on a tourist visa without having to have some kind of finances, a marriage, or something that is additional to your situation. And that's how I do my visa situation. I would do it immediately. You don't have to wait till the end. You can get the extension, and it starts at the end of your first visa stay. So don't worry about losing 2 weeks, for example, saying, oh, if I go now, it's going to give me 30 days from now. No, it's going to give me 30 days from the end of your current visa. So you can go anytime. What's next? Boo, 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 boo. Where are we at here? Hey, Bird 718. What app typically get you the best prices at places to stay? The best prices are usually on Facebook groups. So let's say you stayed in the Philippines 1 week, 2 week, and I'm gonna stay here for a long time. I'm gonna be here for at least 6 months. I would recommend go to like Facebook groups. Just type in like Cebu rentals, and you see like 10, 15, 30, 100 different groups. Join the one with the most posts a day, the one with the biggest like people in that group, and then based on how the group is set up, you can either just simply write what you need, and people will just send you whatever they got, or just go through the listing and see what people are offering. Now, then you'll see what kind of the cheapest one, most affordable one is obviously through the Facebook groups. But they typically tend to be a bit more long term, like maybe 3 months, 6 months, a year. I personally would never recommend it. unless I knew for certain that I was going to stay somewhere for a year, because then they want you to pay like 2 month deposit, and I'm not doing all that. No matter what, I'm only paying 1 month, 1 month rent and 1 month deposit, no more. And if I dare somebody try not to give back my money, people have this problem. I hear sometimes, oh, so and so didn't give, buddy. I'm in your house. You really want that beef with me? You want to start shit with me when I'm like looking at you like 50-inch TV screen? I'll just take this with me or something. I've never had to resort to that, but I'm just saying I don't understand why people, and get everything in writing. You got a contract, right? Get it in writing, and don't be like lazy about reading it. Make sure everything's listed in that contract. Who pays for the maintenance? What happens if the AC goes out? What happens if the TV stops working? What happens if the fridge stops working? What happens if the lights go out? How long can you? So make sure everything is in that contract, right? I know it's not like really something you want to get into, but if you have it in writing, then you have some kind of like at least something to hold on to instead of just having nothing, right? So I recommend. I mean, I don't know. I would not stay somewhere for a long term, but I'm also not in the same situation as you guys. I travel often, so 1 month, 2 month the most. Some places, 5 months if I really know I'm going to be somewhere. But yeah, do it that way. Facebook groups. If not, then Airbnb, and try to negotiate with the host. You can send them a message on there. Airbnb is getting really strict with what you can write. You can't send your phone number, but you can still let them know. So what I say is like, hey, I want to stay 1 month. I'm on a budget. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'll treat you home with respect. Would you accept 14,000 instead of 20? You'll be surprised how many people say yeah. Because believe it or not, there aren't that many people staying over 30 days in the Philippines, right? It may seem like it because we're all in that circle of just expats, but when we look at numbers, like only 4 point something million tourists a year. And that's just the people going to like Boracay and all these places. So imagine someone staying long term, and soon that number gets really small. So don't just like cave immediately to the first person that you're talking to regarding rent. Uh-huh. Father Wolf said, I just got trolled by comments. I will be in Malay Balai. I like it. What? Malay Balai? Malay Balai. Okay. Has the law to blur out people's face affected your YouTube channel? Nah, I'm not worried about that. The whole law about if you're out in public, don't put people's faces on video. Obviously, there's a different, like, I think that comes in play when people exploit other people's situations, and it takes a lot for that to even be. That's just like it's a, it's like any other law that doesn't get enforced. It's difficult to, because that person has to basically prove that you didn't obviously have their permission. You posted a video and you didn't take it down when they asked you to, and then how are they going to identify you? First of all, like it's got a lot of things have to happen for that law to basically be implied and enforced. So I'm not worried about it. I stopped doing the street interviews because it's just too much work, and I'm getting older. It doesn't make sense for a 40-year-old talking to them, because most of the people that said yes to my videos, if you guys don't know, I'm talking about living abroad. So if you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But let me look, one sec. I will just post a link here so you guys know what's going on here. I have a second channel. If you don't know, it's called Living Abroad, and that was my main channel, which I think at this point I'm kind of shifting away from because it requires a lot for me to. So I just sent a link to my second channel so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So most of my videos on that channel are interviews. I go on the street and ask random people random questions, just a different topic of the day, how long you've been here, or what's your budget, whatever the question. And most of the people that say yes was just people in their 20s, which is fine because I'm not looking to bang them or whatever. I'm not looking to take them home. But still on camera, I just felt like, not creepy, but I just felt like I grew out of it, is my point. And I did it for a long time. And just kind of lost the interest in just talking to random women on the street about dating. I just felt like it was, I think grew out of it is the best way of saying it. And people are very friendly. I never had any issue with the people, but I just felt like it's something I want to slowly, I can't be going out there every day talking to random people and all that. So I'm like, let me just have a new format. Now I just try to give advice if I can using Rafi Tofo show, or lately I used a couple of videos from Carrie Tasty Travel, and someone says, oh, how come you're piggybacking off of this girl's